I'm Sir Jamin Mani. Welcome to the beach party where all your summer fantasies come real. Sorry, that was horrible.
I couldn't tell exactly where you were from, but I knew it had a beach somewhere.
Somewhere in the beach. It was either that or it was like, I live in California and I hate the stereotypical surfing accent, so to speak. So we go and slam a jamming into the Jamaica. But won't for long because we don't hear this channel.
No, I should not be doing that at all. That's actually terrible. I should not touch that.
Be like, we will not be appropriating, but welcome to the beach party, everybody, and welcome to this special edition of Bleh. We are here to review the Beach Break editions of Dynamite and Collision. So as you can see, me and my co-host, aptly named Thunder JVL, is in the building. We are donning our Beach Break wear. So, fun in the sun, skin out. We are here to do the things. Thank you for going along with these crazy idea of these theme shows for the next couple of weeks.
Crazy. This is what we should be doing. We should be enjoying it as we are. The thing is, we're not going full into the theme because obviously our technical difficulties will be unintended and will probably not happen as badly. So,
oh my god, we will. When we get to Collision, I thought I was going crazy when I watched it. I was like, ooh, somebody about to get fired.
Do you like the fact that it was like it messed up on the East Coast, and then they came out and said it'll be fine on the West Coast feed,
and then they messed it up again,
and it's still messed up on Max. Like I tried to watch it again today. I think they finally fixed it, but it was messed up on Max for a bit.
I was like, oh no. So, but thankfully, I'm gonna be honest, Collision was very point A to get from beginning to end. So it's like, we don't gotta really do too much, but no. So honestly, we are doing a Beach Break giveaway. So, one of our co-hosts has managed to get some extra AEW merchandise in the form of a shirt, more specifically a Death Rider shirt. So, but putting our personal feelings aside, if you want to win a free t-shirt, all you have to do is first and foremost, you need to follow us either on the social medias or subscribe to the YouTube and hit that bell notification. Yeah. So you can leave a comment below letting us know what is your favorite thing about summer and wrestling. So either one of those, you can combine them both. Unless you say beach brawl, then we have a whole different conversation we're gonna have to talk about.
I feel like if you put Summerfest also, while clever, no, that's not gonna get you anywhere.
No. So let us know in the comments below whether you're watching live or if you're watching the replay or the edited version later. Comment below what's your favorite thing about summer. And let us know. We will be collecting all of the responses and we will be doing a live drawing next week during our Double or Nothing review and get all that information out to you. So, yes.
Is it again? I wanted to clarify. Favorite thing about
summer in wrestling, I think would be fun. There
we go. That's what I want to make. I want to be clear because favorite thing in summer could be totally different. As we all know, we're all big fans of Sting in his Surfer years, but that's beside the point.
Yes, I would love that. Or maybe Surfer Sting is your favorite thing, and let us know why. We will be doing a live drawing of the name next week during our Double or Nothing review, so you have a whole week, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary folks of the internet, to get it there. So please, we want to get rid of this Death Rider shirt.
I mean, we have an awesome giveaway.
Hey, you know what? We don't do them that often, but some of these giveaways are fun. The last one was before they left the company, were limited edition figurines of Penta and Rey Fenix too, which went to a lovely individual as well because they entered and everything. And last year we also gave away a figure from the WrestleCon convention that we were part of, Wrestle Show New Jersey.
That's true.
So we do it's fun. Alrighty. So now that we got that out of the way, follow us on the socials, YouTube, Twitch, all that good stuff. I really want to get into Beach Break. We have merchandise too. So at Fourth Wall /BC WrestlePod, where we just dropped, last week, our Hot Boy Summer Edition. Tanks, t-shirts, and embroidered bucket hats as well. So
kind of like what you're wearing there.
Yes, rocking the merch, kind of. So make sure to go ahead and get that because summer is here, and y'all, it is a beach time, body positivity, let the tanks loose. Anyways.
Sun's out, God's out is what he's trying to say, but I understand.
Yes. Brain is mushy today, but we gonna get through it. So I'm really excited to talk about Beach Break because I thought, despite some technical difficulties on the Collision side, I actually had a lot of fun with Dynamite and Collision for Beach Break. So let us just jump into the Dynamite half of Beach Break first.
Into the deep end. Here we go.
Wrong song. So we kick things off for Dynamite Beach Break with this tag team match. I was like, damn, we just starting with this. This was sickening. But we have Will Ospreay and Hangman Page, the Will They Coexist enemies that will be fighting for the win in the Owen Hart tournament final at Double or Nothing. And they will be teaming up against the Don Fallis family, but be in the form of Sasuke Takeshita and Josh Alexander. This match ruled.
It's the two men that made it to the finals and their two greatest opponents in the Owen Hart Cup.
For reals.
And for Hell Bent for Leather Workers, will they be able to coexist versus we're in the Dom Fallis family, but some reason we just seem to work okay, even though we all hate each other and we know we hate each other. It's kind of fun.
We love a dynamic like that. But this match was awesome.
Surprised that Josh Alexander wasn't the one absorbing most of the punishment on this one. You would think in a standard like this kind of tag match, the odd man out would be Josh Alexander, the newer guy who's been losing a lot, taking the brunt of the thing and taking the pin. But it was all over the freaking map. It was so well paced out. It was spaced enough so that everybody got a few things in there. And you got storyline both on the team from the Owen Hart Cup that were kind of coexisting, but we really just don't like each other. And the other team having some miscommunications that were trying to get in their way. But the classic shot that we get from this match, Mikey, is that shot of Takeshita getting Hangman from behind with his knee and running him face to face into Ospreay, which I don't know how they didn't break their noses.
Right. That was a beautiful shot too. Again, this match was awesome. And well, to nobody's surprise, at least not to me, Hangman and Will Ospreay do win. But it does come at somewhat of a cost because a brawl breaks out, miscommunication, and misunderstandings happened. Yes. Muddy shot.
God. Cameraman who got that shot there too deserves a raise.
Ooh, yes. This was awesome. You know, Hangman, and we would come to find out, I wish they would air these backstage, like social media promos live on the show as they happen. But we get one from Will Ospreay who, you know, and I liked it. He's just like, look, I didn't do it on purpose, but at this point, it's kind of like it's moot to argue it because I'm going to see him at Double or Nothing and I'm going to make sure I win and beat him. I was like, you go, Will. And then Hangman, same thing. I was like, this match is going to be good.
Again, as we've said all the way in the build of this, for the tournament itself, we both have enjoyed the entirety of the build, but also for the men's side, we don't know who's going to win. There is just
honestly don't.
Equal on either side.
And I'm cool with whichever person wins.
I'm cool with it until I don't get a prediction right. But yes, I'm cool with whoever wins. It's going to be good storyline coming out of it either way. The thing will be, who do we want to see Moxley fight more? And does that run into someone being able to take the title off Mox or someone who they're building up just to be able to take a loss again?
Right. But again, this was a fantastic opener. It sets up everything for Double or Nothing, at least in the Owen Hart terms of things. And I was like, I've been enjoying this. This was a really fun opener. Good job, boys. Good job.
Started the night off right. I felt like I was at the beach. Oh, gods.
Okay, so I'm gonna be so for real, JVL. Yeah. I think we might have differing opinions. How do I put this? I actually like this match. Yeah, I had to sit with it for a little bit. I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about Ricochet beating up a person who is missing a leg. But you know what? This was a one-off. I dare say I was like, you know what, Zach Gowen? I kind of dig it. And you know what? By the end of it, I was like, this was fine.
So I don't disagree with you on the match itself being fine. I enjoyed how they played things up. It gave it a new dynamic because Zach definitely knows how to work the ring with only having one leg. Chasing Ricochet around.
That was funny.
What bothered me was the ending. Not because Ricochet beat him up, not that because he was taking things away. It's who came to make the save.
Okay, which we're going to talk about when we get to our predictions for Double or Nothing, because this is that is the most random match that it was made on this.
And I get they tried to sell it on commentary afterwards, but in general, Ricochet knew how to carry Zach through a couple things. Zach was doing dives and having fun. It was a fun worked match, and Zach is definitely in ring shape. I was glad to see him there. He's an attraction more than anything else. You don't want to have him out there really week to week, but definitely fun to bring back every once in a while. But then you have such a litany of people that could start a Ricochet program, and you pull Mark Briscoe. I love Mark, and I love what he's been doing. But other than I'm just saving the guy I have a conscience, he would do that for any person any heel going after him. There's nothing to say specifically why Ricochet needs to be who Mark has a thing with. And I kind of feel like they need to either build that up quickly or this was a waste of space.
No, and commentary tried, emphasis on the word tried, because Zach Gowen is also an ROH, person as well. So they tried to play that history up, and I'm like, but that's not enough. Like,
and even in there, who's giving his dulcet tones again, it just didn't seem to land.
Ian tried, man, and I'm giving Ian lots of points for that. You tried, and you know what? You were the perfect person to give us that history since you've been with ROH. You and Caprice have been with ROH forever. So I'm glad that you were able to get it, but it's not enough. This is a very thin, very thin and flimsy build for Ricochet and Mark Briscoe's match at Double or Nothing.
Right. I don't, and the thing is, like, commentary didn't even bring up the fact that, like, oh, there's going to be something coming up with them, like, right as it was happening. Ricochet's yelling stuff kind of off camera, like, why are you up in my business, Mark? What's going on? You can barely hear it on the camera mic. It's not really being picked up. And so, like, if you really weren't paying attention at home or you were listening to the commentary, you weren't getting that. So this is a bit rushed, or it doesn't make sense, or perhaps needed a different person that could jump into the feud quicker. I just feel like the stakes are so damn low.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for this one. But again, I enjoyed the match. This was a lot of fun. And yeah, so Mark Briscoe comes out for the save. And I'm like, okay, why? Listen, I love Mark Briscoe. But at this point, Tony Khan and AEW need to stop making him the rah-rah cheerleader for this company. I love him. His legacy is great with his brother. But let's give him something more substantial.
Honestly, make him like just the mouthpiece for a bunch of guys at this point.
Honestly, yes. That would be great as well. I would like that either way. So we'll talk about Rick. We'll talk about Trevor the Vampire and, diversify my portfolio, Mark Briscoe, later when we do our predictions.
It's Bald versus Redneck Foo.
Yes, Redneck Foo versus Bald, the SpongeBob bean. But first, can we be honest? I feel so bad for Top Flight in this whole situation. So, Hurt Syndicate come out. They want to, actually have a title defense. And so Top Flight come out and it was like, okay, so we're getting a redo. This was just not even 5 minutes. And poor Top Flight just got demolished. I was like, did they make someone mad backstage? Like, what's the tea, sis?
It's because Darius did so well at Mystery Wrestling. I mean, it just ended up happening.
I am so excited. I also can't believe that that is like happening soon too as well.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
It's going to be crazy. Stay tuned for the review because the grapple gumshoes are on the case.
We are back for it, and we might have a new gumshoe or a assistant detective joining us for that one. We don't know.
He will get us
the other tea.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask, what type of beach break would it be if we didn't have a squash of some sort? Obviously, men in their underwear running around near the beach, kicking sand in the face of the little guys in front of them. It really just kind of fit the theme. I'm just sad it happened to Top Flight.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, well, sure. They hurt people. And they hurt me in my heart because I want better for Top Flight. But Top Flight loses. It's by referee stoppage. Hurt Syndicate win.
Crew begging first.
So, yeah, which then has Crew come out and then Sons of Texas come out. And so MVP states that those two can hash it out on Collision Beach Break, and winner will get a shot at the titles at Double or Nothing. More on that to come. But we weren't done with this segment because we had Shelton go backstage looking for MJF, who was hiding behind, production and Tony. And I love that Tony is just going to throw MJF under the bus any chance he gets. He's like, he's right here.
Well, let's get back to that, though. That comes from a pre-tape segment earlier where MJF was talking to Renee. And Renee was like, so what happens if they don't vote you in? And they end up, they hurt people, Max, and they don't believe you when you're saying your stuff. And he starts to get scared. And
he starts sweating. Absolutely. So we get into the next segment where we hear our answer to all of this. By the way, shout out to whoever's doing these graphics now for AEW. Y'all got the pay raise. I hope you deserve, because these are fun every single week to collect.
Someone got a new version of GIMP.
Seriously. But long story short, everybody's in the ring and we need 3 yeses. So MVP gives the yes. Shelton Benjamin gives the yes. And after playing and teasing MJF, Bobby gives the thumbs up, and meme right here. Yes.
There it is. And the face on Max. And he celebrates like he's the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6.
Yes.
Crazy.
Max is running up around the ring. He is cheering. He's excited. And MVP needs to calm him down, but he lets Max know that officially tomorrow night on Dynamite, he's going to sign his contract with the Hurt Syndicate.
Because he has to have his lawyer look it over, and Smart Mark Sterling is known for his lawyering.
That is very true. I also love that they tease in the background. Shelton Benjamin was about to kick this man's head off too. I was like, look at this. I was like, yes, this is how you do fun teases like that. So tomorrow night on Dynamite, we will get these supposed contract signing for MJF to be in part of the Hurt Syndicate, or will we? We'll have to tune in tomorrow to find out.
There's been some noise being made on the indies from a certain person who has a very long history with these two that might be coming into AEW rather quickly.
And he will be making his Defy debut in a couple weeks. I'm so excited.
But I'm just saying, could we see at Double or even tomorrow night Max's chance revoked because
they got a better offer for someone else?
Yeah.
So, but this was a fun segment. So we will get to see the continuation of this tomorrow evening. So this is going to be fun. Yes,
It's not the main event.
So, okay. So when we previewed this last week, right, we're just like, okay, we know that a returning Sky Blue was going to be in it. But at that point, we didn't know who the other two spots. And it wouldn't be until later in the week we would find out that it was the last two spots were going to be our new New Japan Strong Women's Champion, Azumi. So that was so much fun. It was so much fun to get to watch that happen live in person when she got that title against Mercedes. It was fantastic. But of course, the final spot went to one of her Azumi's opponents in that championship match at Resurgence, and it Miss Mina Shirakawa. Listen, I am in the minority. I actually did the new theme song. I was like, okay, trap music, here we go. But then, of course, the internet was not having it, and Tony decided to turn it. I was like, damn, Con, we did not waste no time. It was not even 15 minutes.
No, we did not. Holy cow.
And so I sat with it. I was like, that's cool. But I also feel like I kind of dug this. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Mina's original theme. It is banging. I love her coming out and doing all the dance moves, right?
But she had already gotten a new dance moves for the new theme.
That's what I say. Listen, we know that Mina Shirakawa is a dancer. She be practicing these moves, like between interviews with her and Mariah May, when they did their dances in Stardom as, Club Venus and all of that stuff, they actually practiced everything before they did it. So I'm like, Mina took the time and effort to, learn to the new music. And I was just like, as a dancer, a former dancer myself, do y'all know how annoying it is to have to change the choreography when someone decides to change the music like 10 minutes after you learn the full thing? It's
100%.
But you know what? It is what it is. Now, as far as this match goes, this was good. I love this one. I feel like with this one,
Cena's going to go up against her, not Double or Nothing, isn't she?
Yes, I love. She was shocked. She's like, "Oh my god, I actually won!" We get a little bit of a stare down because these two have history, and it was made official that a Double or Nothing for the AEW Women's World Championship is going to be Timeless Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa, and I'm just like, yes.
Well, and we jumped ahead about the fact like that during the match they were like stopping with each other, double teams. They hinted at a kiss at one point, which was hysterical, and then nope, and then the back and forth between them was the hardest part, where they cost each other the match, basically.
It was so good. This match was a lot of fun. I'm so happy Sky is back. Shout out to Azumi and Mina and everybody. This was another fun one. These four-way eliminators that Toni Storm's been participating in has been fun because everybody involved every single time we get one of these over the last couple of weeks have been great. But also it gets more women on the television screen, which I will always be a fan of.
I will take that every time.
Absolutely. But we did not end here because even though we got told it would be Mina versus Toni at Double or Nothing, we also had our secondary women's storyline heading into Double or Nothing rear its head in this segment because it was walking up the ramp, as you do after you lose, and she was brutally attacked by Mercedes Moné. Of course,
her title, obviously.
She's upset that she lost she is now Mercedes 3 belts instead of 4 belts because Azumi was able to capitalize and win and take one of the titles from her. So Azumi gets put into it's not the Monet maker, but then we have somebody come out and it's just like, oh, I didn't get my lick in last week. So we gonna get it in here. Yes, Jamie. Jamie puts Mercedes into a submission. And I'm just like,
I call that the hate maker.
Yes. The hate maker. You didn't need to do a lot. We did not need a whole sit down interview. Like this was effective enough to continue. Be like, oh, these two hate each other, and it's gonna be kind of fun at Double or Nothing when they fight to see who wins the women's Owen Hart tournament.
We do not need Mercedes to win. It just is not a thing we need.
I think Jamie and Tony has more history and story in terms of what you want to do for that, but
right.
This was great because Jamie's like, oh, okay, I couldn't do it last week, but I'm gonna get you this week. So
love it. She got her back, and then she almost got another haterade on her, but nope, they stopped her again.
Yes, I'm excited. Low key, yeah, Mercedes doesn't need to win at Double or Nothing, but I'm still actually pretty excited for the match. I think I want Jamie to win so bad. It definitely is. So we move on from this women's segment because we do have to address the fact that since we are covering Beach Break, it was reported last week that we lost, Sabu. And you know what? Taz, as much as you annoy me on commentary all the time and just say the most weirdest and randomest stuff, you know what, sir? I give you a little bit of grace this week because you were very close with Sabu. You guys traveled together, worked together. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything bad about you, Taz, for this particular segment. Man got choked up. I can't be mad at that.
He did. And for rightfully so. I mean, he was his first match he ever had in ECW. So
yeah. So Taz, you got to pass here. Then I would continue to be annoyed with you later in the show, but that is okay.
That's normal. That's a Taz night. So I mean, I fully expect that.
Yeah, so I wasn't, for the rest of the show, I wasn't as hard on Taz as I normally am. But so, rest in peace, Sabu. We hear from Nigel McGuinness as he is in the ring, talking about the problems that, FTR have caused for him. And you know what? Nigel's just like, look, man, I'm not trying to be about this life. Like, we ain't trying to do all that. I don't wrestle like that no more. Then we have Daniel Garcia come out and basically be like, bro, listen. I'm going to fight these dudes whether I have somebody or not, but they made it personal involving you and Tony Schiavone, and you're Tony Schiavone's friend. So please team up with me so we can knock FTR down a little bit of a peg.
And
Nigel is still
to do so.
Yeah. Nigel's still a little bit unsure until FTR rear their ugly heads, and then we get a whole entire sequence of things like we be fighting, Stokely just mouthing off, which is fantastic to watch.
Oh my God, yes.
Daddy Magic comes in to kind of for the save and even the odds. Nigel McGuinness is like, you know what? Let's just do it. I'm going to do the things. And again, we will talk about it, but we also get this match made official for Double or Nothing. Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia will be taking on FTR. So I'm intrigued, AEW. I'm intrigued.
I am intrigued as well. I think you need to carry Nigel in a tag match like this. It would scare me both in kayfabe and not to see him dropped on his head, but it's going to be happening in some sort of spike pile driver.
I think it will be too. I mean, this is a tag team match, so there's more people to kind of help. But even the little bit that we saw too, me and Andrew at least saw towards the tail end of last year when we did the watch along for Final Battle, and he was the mystery opponent for Lee Moriarty's Pure Championship.
Right.
He did okay after we sat through 15 minutes of like them messing around.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that makes sense.
And Nigel's just being an absolute dick, but I digress. So I'm intrigued.
I think it's going to be good. I'll be interested to see how Daniel Garcia works that.
Yes, at least Daniel gets a pay-per-view match. Adam Cole, I don't know what we're doing with you, but I digress. Who knows? We might get him added in some capacity. So we'll talk. We'll have to wait and see for the rest of this week. But because right now I was so disappointed. I shouldn't have been, but I was kind of underwhelmed.
Yeah, totally. Again, I expected it to be terrible, even in a steel cage, and then they just it was slow and plotting. And yes, it was a Joe match in that he was going to try to clock him as hard as he could. Moxley is just, I don't think he's devolved in his style, but I feel like he's either been hamstrung by whatever he's doing with the Death Riders, or he just has gotten down to John Cena level of 5 moves of doom. I think I said this last week. I want him to go back to Japan, lose the title, go back to Japan, get his mojo back, and come back better than ever.
Absolutely. Look, it has been said, we haven't been the biggest fans of this Death Rider storyline, but I love Moxley. I really, really do. Yeah. But this was just an okay. I'm not expecting them to like break limbs and pull out Hangman Swerve levels of violence, right? Because that was even overdue when we had hypodermic needles and things like that. It was wild. No, this was just mid. I was like, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. Yeah. It was not a good TV match. And of course, afterwards, all the chaos happens, everybody be fighting. Well, let's talk about this ending because we have person in hoodie come out to kind of help Mox retain the championship by sliding into briefcase. And we come to find out it is New Japan's Gabe Kidd. Is that you bald fraud? I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
Listen, I already knew. Even before he revealed the hoodie, like I heard snippets of the person talking in there. I was like, there's only one person that I know in wrestling that talk like that. And I was just like, yep, there he is. Gabe Kidd in the flesh. Then everything gets crazy. Death Riders come in for fights. The Young Bucks come in for fights. Then the rest of the ops and Kenny and Swerve come out. Swerve get like chaos ensues. Swerve gets on the mic. And essentially, we get it made that it is going to be, Anarchy in the arena match at Double or Nothing. And is basically what I have dubbed Team AEW and Team Death Riders, essentially.
We're going to have Marina and Willow as a part of this, right?
So we'll talk about it again during predictions. But at least in my mind, I think Team AEW is going to be Kenny, Swerve, Willow for sure. I think the ops will be a part of it, but I feel like maybe something will happen or somebody in the ops gets taken out. So I think Joe will definitely be there. And I think either Shibata or Hobbs will be taken out or both of them. And then I think this is where we get a surprise return. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, who I think those two surprises could be. And then on the other side, it's Claudio, Yuta, Mox, Gabe, and Marina, and maybe the Young Bucks. There's a lot of people in Anarchy in the arena.
It's going to be a confusing mess. As it always is, but at the same time, could be a lot of fun.
Yes, with the right people. We'll talk about that when we get to our predictions, because first, JBL, we have to get through.
Oh, load! It's actually going to work? We're not going to miss out on like 13 parts of this?
Listen, AEW, we love you, but the last 72 hours have not been fun in terms of certain things. First, with Collision being messed up on the East Coast and the West Coast feed.
Even after Tony said that the feed would be fine when he got to the West Coast, which he shouldn't have said.
Yes, but it did not. And then to come to find out whether whoever's at fault with this, Double or Nothing is not available on Triller for the United States fans. So we would have to buy it on YouTube or
a VPN somewhere or something else.
We'll figure it out. I was just like, this is in the words of SpongeBob, this is a load of barnacles.
No, it's Patrick.
Be like, anyways. So despite the technical difficulties, this was a very straightforward Collision. We didn't have a lot of time for promos. It was just match after match after match. I will say though, Tony Storm's behind the scenes social media promo talking about Mina was gold, and I'm mad they didn't air it.
Oh yeah, I'm so mad too.
Angry
again. So you're putting all this great stuff on your online program and your social media stuff, but not where it should be, where all of us wonderful fans want to see it, even though it probably wouldn't have come across anyways, because they would have cut to something else by accident.
True. But let's get into Beach Break Collision, because we kicked off with a very short match, but still a fun one. Anna Jay getting her butt whooped by Megan Bayne.
And the puppet with Harley Cameron. Oh my God.
You are on track to be like my favorite person, like the fun character of 2025 for me.
I want to, as a puppeteer, go meet her again, because I almost got the chance to in Jersey Wrestle a couple of years ago, but she wasn't doing the puppet gimmick. And I didn't know she could do that. So I want to talk to her about puppet stuff so bad. And I know that's so strange, but I do.
But you know what, girl, whatever she does, she puts her mind to it. Literally, she speaks Cantonese. She does puppetry. She can make her own rap video with Minnie Monet. She's a woman, a jack of all trades, and I love her. I was like, Harley Cameron, are you a wrestling bard? Because you are amazing.
Jack of all trades or Jill of all trades. Yeah.
Yes, we love it. Again, very short match. Megan Bayne does whoop Anna Jay, but we kind of figured it was still a lot of fun though. And then, of course, we get fights galore between these two. I was like, very fun way to open the show.
Yes.
And again, this was just match on match on match, because we didn't have room to breathe in Collision, because we didn't just jump in straight into. Yes, this was 10 minutes. I'm mad that it was only 10 minutes, but we get Kyle Fletcher versus homie to the channel, AR Fox.
I needed to breathe after this, and watching AR Fox just go, man. Oh my Lord.
I don't know if it's a weight thing. I was like, maybe next year I would love to see AR Fox in the best of the Super Juniors, because Nick Wayne is killing it right now.
I think he's at the top of the weight class, but he could do it. Or even get him in the G1 for a bit.
Yes, send him to Japan. He would be great.
Honestly, we need to send an AEW faction to Japan for the G1 every year anyways. Just put him in a block somewhere.
Seriously. I mean, the best of the Super Juniors right now, Kevin Knight and Nick Wayne are killing it right now as being the AEW representatives.
Well, and
they're
Kevin Knight's
killing it.
kind of like Kevin Knight's straddling at that point because he just came over from there. So
That's
it's
true.
like,
Look, if we could send Anna Jay to Japan, let's be sending other AEW folks to Japan.
yeah.
So,
Oh my god, let's have so much more Joshi wrestling stuff other than just Mercedes Moné. Like, why can't Tony Storm show up in Stardom somewhere or like in like
well, okay.
something else?
So let's talk about this match, and then we're going to talk about it because for the last 2 weeks, remember, we've been seeing this like red spider be popping up on our television screen during these women's matches. So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But this match was baller, and I had to agree with you. I'd take a breath after this match.
I mean, the two high rate workers, Kyle knows how to bring the best out of his opponents now, which I'm so happy for him. Are just shined all the way through, and Kyle got the win that he was supposed to get.
Absolutely. So Kyle wins. Now let's talk about what we were discussing like 15 seconds ago about this red spider that's been popping up during the women's matches.
Spider.
So, of course, if you are not in the know with the wrestling news, so me and Adolfo discussed this last night during our review for Stardom's All-Star Grand Queendom. Because so the spider or the Black Widow of Stardom, Miss Thekla, did technically get fired after her match at All-Star Grand Queendom, but of course she was finishing up, and she has currently, according to Fightful and other outlets, has signed with AEW, and of course last 2 weeks have been getting the red spider popping up. So I'm excited because Thekla has ties to Mina and to Tony and to Megan.
And Thekla's hungry and wants to work, and like proved it because there was talk of going to the other Fed as well, and she really wanted a place that she could grow and actually improve on herself versus slow down, and that's what she's going to get in AEW.
So Miss Thekla, who knows, she might pop up at Double or Nothing. It might be later, but I'm excited. She's a really solid wrestler. And Adolfo and I were talking about this. He's happy, but he's also mad because as a new Stardom fan, he gets to see the tail end of her finishing up in Stardom. But I'm excited because we get to see her continue in AEW. I was like, it truly is a fun landscape for 2025 wrestling. So, but back to the Beach Break Collision review, because next, Dove,
meat.
This was your meat. Can I just say, Brody King? Call me.
Now you're saying that not like Trent Beretta's abs.
Well, also listen, I'm just gonna put this out there. Brody, Rocky, Trent, call me.
But not Lance.
I can call
not Ishii, not Bandito.
Well, Bandito, you also kind of sexy, bro. Lance would have to be somebody if I was really into BDSM and just step on me some. And Ishii would I feel like Ishii would judge me, but I would kind of like it, question mark. Anyways.
Silently judge you.
Yes, he would silently judge me. But this match was also a lot of fun too. And I'm kind of surprised to see Bandito, Brody, and Ishii get the win here.
I was completely blown away by this because the Dom Fallis family has done nothing but win, and you expect them. They wanted to re-bring up, Roppongi Vice in the best way they can, and Lance Archer's known for losing all the time, but no, they lose again. That's so weird.
It really is, but of course, the Dom Fallis family cannot let the good guys enjoy their win because then we get a beat up. But then the best part about this whole thing is that the baby faces were saved by the youngest men in the business, the Outrunners.
Oh yeah, baby.
I love the Outrunners so much. We need to do something more substantial with them. But you know what? The faces Outrunners and then Brody, Bandito, and Ishii celebrated together in the ring. I'm also going to bring this up because we got a fun short promo on the socials from Brody, and I hope this match happens at Double or Nothing. I want it to be on the main card, but I will take it on 0 Hour too, because Brody King says he has unfinished business and calls out Josh Alexander. I'm like, give me round 2, damn it.
Somewhere, please.
I could watch those two fight forever, and that is meat. Collision, this match was fun. I appreciate y'all. Stop teasing me. Just give me the match. Like, Lord have mercy.
Please just give us it. We're ready now. We're ready for this. And Roddy can't talk. Kyle can't talk, and Adam is trying to carry both of them. Let's just get past this now. Do the match.
Yes, but give me this match because GYV versus Paragon is going in-ring wise. This match is going to slap. Yes, I agree. Roddy and Kyle cannot talk. Adam's carrying them, but what they do very well is wrestle in the ring and going up against GYV. I'm ready for this. Put this on Double or Nothing. Cowards. Short match, but a fun one. We get Speedball Mike Bailey defeating Blake Christian.
Bailey's been popping up for like the last couple weeks too. Like he just pops in, pops out. So I'm glad to see him wrestle a full match. And Blake Christian's been doing everything he can. So
I'm glad that we got a singles match for this. Of course, this goes like 8 minutes. Speedball Mike Bailey wins. Oda comes out. We're teasing Bailey versus Oda, but then he gets jumped by, Rush and Dralistico. Or Speedball gets jumped by Rush and Dralistico. So there's also that possibility of a match too.
I hope so.
I'm cool with it either way. Blake Christian, you keep doing your thing. We love you.
Okay.
Was not expecting who won this match, but I had fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. I understand why Brian Keith and Big Bill got the win, but I would have rather seen, and again, like Professor says all the time, I would rather see Gates of Agony win because one, then you can get them over more with the fans as the babyface team. But then if Brian Keith and Big Bill lose, you have some more upward trajectory to go in terms of story and character motivation and development. Because they won, but now where do they go from here?
Yeah, and in the fashion they won too, it was kind of like
wah.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot. I don't get.
Like, we could have just had a regular match and then some shenanigans where they start fighting and throwing each other through everything, which then causes, okay, y'all ain't gonna have a regular match. So at Double or Nothing, whether it was on like you said, Double or Nothing on 0 Hour or the main card, that we'll have a street fight or a very crazy gimmick match where we just let these four go at it.
But of course, you're in Chicago. You have to have a Chicago street fight at some point. So I guess they
sure, why not? The match was fine. I still think Gates of Agony should have won, and we'll see what happens next with Brian Keith and Big Bill. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about it, but we will.
We will cover it here. So we do get the tribute to Mr. Steve Mongol McMichael, where, of course, we have family members. Ric Flair popping up on my TV screen once again.
One of the few times I can't be mad Ric Flair is around.
No, I cannot. And so, talked about it. It was a nice little tribute. I was like, listen, as much as I have problems with AEW, I do appreciate the effort and the care they do sometimes for these tributes as well. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not mad at you guys. So you get a little bit of grace from me.
And also sad to lose someone that I like. I knew who he was. I grew up watching a little bit and I knew who he was on WCW. Did not realize like the depth of that too. Like it was really informative for me to watch that.
And honestly, I thought this was a really touching way to end the show as Collision went off the air. Oh, wait, hold up. No, it's not, because we still had 2 more matches. And
no, we didn't. That didn't show. It never showed.
Oh my gosh. But we're going to talk about it anyways, because they had to fix it. So I had to rush to figure out how we're going to do and cover that. I was like, they messed it up on the East Coast and the West Coast feed. And they finally, it was bad all around, but we were able to finally get the last 2 matches. So the penultimate one was a number 1 contendership match between the Sons of Texas and the Crew. This was a fine match. Leo Rush, I love you. This Sons of Texas win, and I was like, okay, they're going to lose at Double or Nothing. Can you believe this is Sammy Guevara's first pay-per-view match in like 3 years?
Yes, I can believe it.
It's wild.
But yes, I can totally believe it. I'm sorry, Mr. Guevara, sir. I'd rather see your other half, who is a lot more talented in certain ways.
Where is Ty? I miss Ty Mello. Give me Ty Mello. I need her to join up.
Cameron and Anna Jay in their time of need.
Yes. I need Ty to be joining with Anna and Harley. Let 3 be a faction. So Sons of Texas are moving on to Double or Nothing. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But then in our main event, Hobbs, I'm happy that you were in this main event. We have Powerhouse Hobbs taking on Because Tonight Will Be the Night That I Will Fall For You, Wheeler Yuta. He gets more and more like Midwest emo every time we see him.
I've been calling him Whiner Yuta for the last little bit there because he's basically been so emo and whiny.
So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Still fun, though.
It was fine. It was fun. Again, there were better matches earlier in the night, and that could have done better here, but it set up what it needed to. Hooray. Anarchy of the Arena just needs to happen at this point. I don't know if I'm excited for it. I just want it to be done, and I want the Death Riders to end, and they won't. They're going to win in the arena. You know they're going to win it.
Yeah, they're going to win, even with the possible... Yeah. I mean, that's very true. I'm really hoping because, Gabe Kidd is here for some odd reason. And I'm just like, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be mad because I love Gabe Kidd and he's psychotic and I love him just doing crazy things. However, I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I wonder how this is going to play. And like, is this a one and done thing for Gabe? Like, what are we doing here? But JBL, that does bring us to the end of the AEW weekly review part of this, but oh no, we are not done because my friend, we also got to do predictions for Double or Nothing.
Can I say one more thing about the end of Collision, though? Or at least for
Go
Enter
for
the
it.
Arena, because of Double or Nothing. I feel like Gabe Kidd is there to either draw Moxley to Japan, like I was saying, or he's there to be more charismatic. The problem is he can't fit into the Death Riders. He's too charismatic and like magnetic on TV. So obviously he needs to like either tone that down and be completely a blank slate like everyone else in that group, or he needs to not just be a part of them. So
that is very, very true. So if you are new here to BC WrestlePod, what we do for our pay-per-views is we like to have a little predictions league. So we are in our 2025-2026 season, and this is the first AEW pay-per-view of the new season. So this is either going to go very well or go very super poorly, maybe. So we're going to go through the matches that are currently announced, and we'll probably get like 10 more later this week. Stay tuned for the social medias Sunday morning, as you will get to see our predictions, myself, JVL, and the professor.
Yeah.
So let us begin. I am going in order in which these matches were announced. So, because normally I would usually put them in order of how they should go, but given that AEW likes to add way too many more matches that don't need to be here as we get closer, I'm just going to go in order with what was announced first, going to the most recent. So let's talk about this first one. We have the Women's Owen Hart Tournament Final, where we have Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter. This is an easy pick for me. I'm going with Miss Jamie Hayter.
It's not an easy pick for me. Everything in me is screaming against who I want to pick for this. It's because AEW is going to do something stupid and they're going to put it there. I'm voting for Jamie Hayter. I will take the loss on this because she deserves to win.
Same here.
There's something in me that is screaming that Monet is going to go over here, and I don't know if I want to sacrifice.
That is true. I love how everybody is now playing more cautiously after last season, which is very fun for me to watch.
Oh my god!
So
I'm picking with the heart for this one, and I luckily we're both picking it. So if we both miss on this, we both miss. But I mean, you got to admit, Mikey, there's got to be a little part of you going, they're going to swerve us hard and make Monet win.
Of course. But again, what helps me with these predictions too is I try to pick logically and what's going to make the best score for me. But if I can afford to, I will pick one or two matches with the heart. And sometimes for the majority of it, statistic wise, last prediction season, it helped me out a lot. That's how I almost swept pretty much. I almost swept I almost swept Forbidden Door last year.
It's true.
But the only match I got wrong because I didn't expect Team Samoa Joe to beat Team Jericho, which was nuts to me.
Yeah.
I was happy to get that wrong. But anyways, so we both picked Jamie Hayter. Well, I'm interested to see what Professor picks. So we'll figure that out. But next up, now we get into the one that is truly 50-50 for me. The men's tournament final for the Owen Hart versus Hangman Redemption Page. So I
know
this one's tougher because the tournament and just everything these two have been involved in prior to the tournament too, they've both been built up to such a really solid way. And honestly, I would be happy either way.
I feel like if Swerve had taken it from John Moxley, this would be an easier pick.
Yes. This one's tough for me, but
I went to go Ospreay on that one.
That's very true because Ospreay versus Mox is something we haven't really seen, so that'd be really, really fun.
Not since Japan. There is an NJPW match.
That is true. When they were fighting for what was the IWGP United States Championship.
Right. Plus, do we have Hangman going up against the Bucks as well at the same time?
That is also very true because Bucks and Hangman still have unfinished business and all that stuff too. So I'm going to play the other side. I'm going to go with Hangman on this one.
All right.
We're going to split it here. I'm okay with losing a point here because honestly, either man for me, I would be truly happy.
There are ways to go out of this with both of them. So that's the nice part. I won't be disappointed in whatever they have for storyline planned. I just have to make a choice.
Absolutely. So next up, we have our AEW Women's World Championship match. Timeless Toni Storm versus Mina
Toni Storm.
Versus everybody wants Mina Shira. I love Mina to death, but
I'm going with Toni. Toni needs to take on Jamie Hayter, so it's got to happen.
Yeah, I'm excited though. This match is also going to be good. But AEW, let's fix the mistake from last time. Give them 15 minutes
or more,
please, because 12 minutes last time was not enough.
No, was definitely not enough.
This is not for points, but question, do we see a return of Mariah May here? No. Okay.
She's made it quite clear that she's on her way out. I don't think that she would, unless she had re-signed with AEW, I
That's
doubt
true.
she's going to show her face again.
She shows up with Decla, that'd be crazy.
It'd be amazing.
Well, who knows? We'll see. So, moving on. We hinted at this when we were covering Dynamite, but this is like the weirdest match that they made for this card.
Match.
I was just like, this was, I'm going to be honest. Do I think these two in-ring wise are going to give us shenanigans and tomfoolery? Yes. Am I looking forward to it? Absolutely. But I feel like this could have been, we could have had this match on the Dynamite. Zach Gowen come in, maybe. We could have just had this on Dynamite. I'm going to be honest with you.
We could have. We should have had a match between them on Dynamite that would lead to a reason for a stretcher match.
That is very, very true.
I mean, I feel like there's a couple other rivalries on the card right now that, like, in general, would be worthwhile for a stretcher match. This makes like a scissor match, a first blood match, something like, yes, a prosthetic leg match, something, but stretcher?
No. Shout out to Robert in the chat, representing Lafayette, Indiana. It's been a while, my friend. Hello, how you doing? Just to remind everybody.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you can tell us right now, if you can list your favorite thing for summer in wrestling, you could be entered to win a lovely piece of merch from AEW.
Yes, so Robert, we are, as we stated at the beginning of the show, we're doing a giveaway for an AEW t-shirt. All you gotta let us know in the chat or in the comments below, what's your favorite moment of summer in wrestling? And you could be entered to win this t-shirt. Thunder Roasty, what's poppin'?
Everything at this point, it's so late here where I am. I swear to God, Robert, I'm happy to see you.
So yeah, Robert, let us know in the chat or in the comments what your favorite moment summer in wrestling is, and you could be entered to win this AEW t-shirt. Just let us know, because we would love to get that out to our winner. But back to this, I'm gonna be honest. Why? I don't care. Just how. I feel like Mark can lose.
Ricochet doesn't need the momentum to be lost off of him. And Mark, while he's won a couple matches recently, he could have just kept losing for all I care and said been fun. So
some reason Mark is one of those people that lose, but doesn't seem to, it won't be too bad for him, so to speak. Robert, just give us one that pops to mind. The first thought that pops into your head.
F5 shark,
Oh my gosh, yes.
All right, so we got a pick here from Robert as well. Ricochet getting the win. Yeah, he's right. He's totally.
Yeah, me and JVL agree. Ricochet is probably walking away. I think Ricochet should win this one. I'm gonna be honest with you. But again, of all gimmick matches, the stretcher match is kind of weird because the match does not equate to the feud or the lack thereof.
So, are we still doing the thing we were talking about, where since Professor isn't here to make us picks, we're just going to pick for him and pick against everything we picked?
I mean, we could on air, but then when he actually fills it out and I post the actual graphic this Sunday, like, it's different.
Jeez.
I'm gonna text him and be like, you need to get this filled in by Friday, because if you do not give me these picks, you will automatically get a 0 and however many total matches there are. I think that's the new rule I'm going to enact. If you don't put these picks in, you get an automatic goose egg 0 for the pay-per-view. And also because I'm trying to post these predictions on social media, and it would be nice if you give it to me on time. I digress.
To a lot of people, it'd be nice if they gave it to me on time. But either way,
we move on
from this match
to this one. We get a tag team match. Nigel McGuinness looking like he's about to put both his fingers in my nostril and teaming up with Daniel Garcia, taking on, did you smell that? FTR.
So Nigel McGuinness flipping off the camera. And
yes.
Who farted FTR? Who FTR?
With Tiny Stokely in the front.
Oh my God, he looks like an Oompa Loompa. So here's the thing for this, Mikey. My thought on this is that we're going to see the Daniel Garcia heel turn here. And FTR is going to win because of shenanigans. Garcia is going to beat the crap out of Nigel and go right with them. Daddy Magic's going to get completely thrown off by this because he'll be at ringside, but it's going to be FTR taking it.
I agree. FTR, I feel like, have more to lose if they lose. So I'm going to pick them to win as well. But yes, Daniel Garcia heel turn. Here we come. It's coming again. All right. Hurt Syndicate. Moving on. I'm just kidding.
It's a foregone conclusion.
Lord have mercy. I would be so perplexed if somehow Sons of Texas managed to win this thing. I'm like, no.
Do we see MJF attack Sammy backstage?
Probably.
I mean, he's got history with both guys on this team.
That is very true as well. So we shall see what happens.
I agree with you too. I just saw this in the thing. It'd be great too. I feel like Nigel can't sustain a run long enough to be able to turn heel because he's defending the honor of Tony Schiavone, but who knows?
He's protecting his boyfriend. I'm just kidding.
He is. Then again, Tony Schiavone goes down. Then we get Caprice and Ian on AEW. I mean, I can say no to that. That'd be great.
Listen, I would be here for all of that. But yeah, this is the easiest pick for me. I'm picking the Hurt Syndicate here.
Same. Same.
I will be upset if AEW wants to screw us over for a free point.
Should we take an over-under on how quickly Dustin Rhodes is going to bleed?
I give it 7 minutes.
Okay, 7. You're going to give him full 7 minutes. He's not going to bleed in the first 2 seconds.
No.
I see like third move in, he gets dropped on like the stairs or something and then just automatically starts bleeding everywhere.
Oh my goodness. So we shall see. And then finally, as of right now, the last match, the most recent one, is Anarchy in the Arena, where who knows who the final composition of teams is going to make, but I have dubbed it Team AEW versus Team Death Riders. And in some capacity is going to be Team AEW, which is definitely going to have Swerve, Kenny, and Willow for sure. And then, of course, the Ops, or who knows, we might get some of the Ops, taking on Team Death Riders, which is Mox, Claudio, Yuta, Marina Shafir, and possibly the Young Bucks with Gabe Kidd. So this is what I was thinking. My speculation of getting a surprise return doesn't change anything. I'm going with Team Death Riders here, unfortunately. However, in terms of returning, I think the Ops will be taken out at some point this week or before the show happens at Double or Nothing. So we got spots filled. And there are 2 people I could see returning who have beef with people on the Death Riders that also include the Bucks and Gabe Kidd, right?
Yeah.
So the one that's more likely to happen, because, rumor reports is he's cleared now to get back into the ring. And this is the perfect match because he doesn't have to wrestle like a full-length match. It's just chaos. We could see the return of the Mad King, Eddie Kingston, or coming off of his high from being able to make it to the top of Mount Everest, we could also see Darby return here. I would prefer Eddie.
I'm going to say this straight out from the reports that just came in. He started descending yesterday. There is no way he is in ring shape to come to Double or Nothing and do this at all. He might try to, but I don't think he's even back in country by the time he gets to that point.
That's true.
Stuff. Yeah.
And you know what? Despite the chaos, I'm also glad Willow and Marina are a part of this.
Representation is needed, and I love this. And I really just want to see Marina choke out like Kenny Omega somewhere. It'd be cool.
Everybody, listen. If I also want this to lead to a singles feud between Willow and Marina, like, please give it to me because it is amazing.
I don't think we're gonna do it. I can see Eddie Kingston. I see Hook popping out of nowhere finally again. Who knows? Maybe a return.
Who knows?
That'd be fun.
Regardless, I'm picking Team Death Riders to win here.
Same.
Unfortunately,
they don't need the momentum. They have stunk this entire time, and they're winning.
So just gonna submit it right there, and we are good to go. So that is, as of right now, that is our predictions for Double or Nothing. So, of course, we'll probably get like 10 more matches, Robert.
Really?
Me too, my brother. Yes.
I'm watching for a couple matches. That's it, really.
So we'll figure it out. We will be reviewing Double or Nothing next Tuesday. So we'll try to figure out, because we want to keep this theme of dressing up for these reviews. So I have to find something Vegas-y related or Double or Nothing casino related.
Gambling related.
Okay. Yeah. Something of that sort. But JBL, that brings us to the end of. So before we wrap up, just to give you a preview of what remains this week. Again, a very short week, but a still fun one. So tomorrow night is the average Wednesday where you get a double dose of review. First and foremost at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The NXT Losos Crew, your sexiest NXT review show out on the internet. The go home show before NXT Battleground, which is the next PLE this Sunday for the silver and black brand.
Right.
So we already have some fun matches happening. We have Obafemi versus Miles Bourne, Stax versus Tony D'Angelo. The TNA World Championship is being defended at Battleground. Joe Hendry defending it against Trick Williams. But the match I'm most excited about is Stephanie Vaquer defending her NXT Women's Championship against Jordan Grace. That match is going to be big power mommy moves, and I'm here for it.
It's going to be a lot of fun in that one. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yes, I am so excited. Really quickly, Robert, if Marina should chokes out Willow at Double or Nothing, Willow needs to win the rematch at All In. Give me a feud, please. That's all I want, Tony Khan. So we shall see. But then, if NXT is not up to your speed, then you can tune in a little bit later for the After Hours show, but not really, at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, where Los Lucha will be gracing your screens, as we will be covering another fantastic episode of CMLL Viernes, and also giving you a preview because we got 2 weeks worth of tournament matches happening for the Copa Junior. So basically, your junior heavyweight tournament over the next 2 weeks is going to be great. And I got a preview of the card for this Friday. We're also getting the Micro Estrellas fighting. So that's our micro stars as well. I'm so excited. It's going to be fun. And then we are closing out this week because we are getting time off for Memorial Day weekend for all the wrestling and the rejuvenation. And because Thursday, we at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, we are debuting our new review team, the Ring Rats and Riot Axe team, as we are now adding Defy Wrestling into our rotation of independent promotions. Myself and Andrew will be premiering the Ring Rats and Riot Axe team by reviewing Defy Wrestling's Fatal Fantasy, which saw this man on the poster, Murder Grandpa himself, Minoru Suzuki, main eventing the show. It was such a great show. I cannot wait to talk about it on Thursday. It's going to be so much fun. And don't blink because next week is just as crazy. We got Double or Nothing review on Tuesday, NXT Battleground review on Wednesday, CMLL, TNA, and we got some more stuff like Mystery Wrestling's coming up. Money in the Bank is coming upon us too really fast.
So fast.
So much wrestling. And then, of course, we baptized Adolfo as our newest GCW correspondent with 2 live watch-alongs in a couple of weeks of GCW's Tournament of Survival and Cage of Survival, where our former AEW talent, Mr. Bear Bronson, will be making his GCW debut, which makes me excited. I can't wait. It's going to be good.
I'm glad he's finally out of the shadow of all the other stuff. So
I know. I was like, it sucks when your tag team partner is a miscreant and a POS.
Oh, yeah. Wholeheartedly.
Absolutely. But that is going to be it for us here at. So tune in for all the other review shows this week. Robert, thank you for popping into the chat, my friend. We love your contribution during our Double or Nothing predictions. And for everyone else out there, from myself, JVL, the bald fraud himself, the professor, and all the other people here at BC WrestlePod, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay Bi-Conic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you, at least for AEW, next Tuesday with our Double or Nothing review, as well as a plethora of other reviews this week. But until then, sayonara, adios. Remember, love yourself tonight and always.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's going to happen next time? Well, you're going to have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.